Apocalypse Gaming.
Hi there my friends, and hope everyone's well. Well, today I want to take a wee look at some Mantic Zombies that I've just got through the post. I've had a really good look at the sprue just before I started putting them on camera, and what I can say is I am very impressed by them. I'm just quickly scanning over to give you a quick overview of the sprue before I go back and talk about some of the details on it, just so you get an impression of what's on here. Now I'll just take it to the torsos. So let's flip that round so we can get a look at these torsos to start with. Something I've noticed that I particularly like about them is there's not too much muscle, bone or intestine or anything like that on show. There's a good mix of normal flesh and some torn and damaged flesh, because after all the zombies still need to be able to move around and walk around, and if there's too much of them damaged, they ain't going to be able to do that because it'll all be hanging off and falling off. You can just see the spinal column coming through the skin there, and there's a damage again where the flesh has been torn off, and you can see some of the muscle and intestine and things like that below. So that for a start is a good mix. Let's take a flip round and look at the faces. There's a good strong differentiation in each of the faces as well. Some of them are nice and angry and tortured and I'm going to get you, but we also have, just coming along to it, the nice slack jawed moaning look that you'd expect from your zombies as well, with the I'm gonna get you type idea. So there's that strong mix. Flipping round, I'll just invert this so we can see the legs. Again, good strong detail, some flesh ripped and torn, but again, not too much. It's just about, I feel, the perfect balance that Mantic's got with that. And see that again. And something I particularly like on this sprue is we have a torso here, which is just the base of the torso on the round plinth just coming out of the ground, so you could mount your torso here and have it as if the zombie's erupting from the earth, which is a seriously nice touch to have on the sprue. Also along a similar nature is this arm here could easily just be mounted on the base of the sprue, holding the head up as if the zombie's forcing its way out of its grave. And something else again, just next to it, another lovely little bit of detailing is we have just the basis of a spinal column, which again you can use on its own, or you could add extra detailing to your miniature using just that. So that's kind of sweet and kind of cool. So that's the main features that are pretty much on that sprue. I'll go and show you another sprue we've got as well. Okay, we've got a guy here with an arm clubbing somebody as well with another arm. I forgot about that one. Let's look at this other sprue. This one's got a slightly different balance to it, which is nice as well. We'll just quickly scan through and then we'll come back and look at it again in detail. So we'll start with the faces. And again, just like on the other sprue, good mix of expression and feeling across the heads. So give them all that different look. Instead of the intestines being on display in this one, there's a slightly different feel with nails and stakes jammed through various different body parts. You can see the nail all the way through that leg. There's a stake went in the side of this leg and came jammed out the other side. Obviously somebody didn't know their undead very well and thought you could stake a zombie, but no, you try and stake a zombie, they have your brains for dinner. So some poor daft civilian, when he was met with this horde, tried his best to defend himself and didn't come off very well. But I do like all these little touches with the stakes and the nails coming out of them. Get the stake all the way right through that belly, so it's went in at the back. And again you can see a spine here. So strong detail. another part that I particularly like on this sprue is this hand. It's some form of weapon, mechanicalized on there, so it's almost Freddy Krueger steampunk style slasher mitt for the zombie to have on, which is another seriously little cool piece. Now, for those of you that don't know, the way Mantic base their models is slightly different from many others out there, but I particularly like it. It comes with these square bases with the circles there, which are pressed in. So you've got that there, and on these bases they would then be glued straight into there. That will give you the ability to pose the angle of your miniature very, very easily on the base, so that way when it comes to ranking them up it should be a much simpler job. What it would also do, because of the way it comes, because that's reasonably thick, that's about 2 mils, maybe 3 mils thick, what that would let you do is actually magnetise these as well. So you could use them on the square bases in Mantic's own system, but if you wanted to also proxy these into some other system and you're going to use them on round bases, because you'd magnetise it, you could pop it off and stick it on your round bases and flick it back and forward between systems, giving you greater versatility across your miniatures. It will also mean, should you choose just to glue them in place, it's going to be a really strong bond between your miniature and your base, so you shouldn't be taking them out of whatever it is you're carrying them in and seeing them detached from the bases, because the sheer surface area alone that you're gluing that into will give you a really, really strong structure. There is slight detailing, you can just see it there on the camera, on these bases. It's not the most obtrusive of detailing, but you could certainly use that bit alone if you're wanting to when you're basing it, or put your own basing materials over the top. So hopefully that's been helpful and gave you a good insight into the Mantic Zombies. I will build these up and show you some stills of them built up and some stills of the sprues. So thank you for checking it out and take care everyone. Bye.
Apocalypse Gaming.